for tuning in to another fun episode with your favorite mouse moms, Juliana.
Hey!
Lori.
Hi.
And me, Jennifer. This week starts the season of loving on the US of A with Memorial Day, paying homage to those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, to honoring our flag on Flag Day next month, to the ultimate in patriotic celebrations with the 4th of July. There's a lot to reflect on. So let's dig in and talk about all the ways in which Disney celebrates our great nation. And first, we need to do that with a Mouska cocktail. This one is not your typical cocktail. This one is non-alcoholic, but delicious nonetheless. This one is called the American Dream Slushie. You can find this at the Fife and Drum Tavern, which is in the American Adventure in Epcot. It's a mixture of strawberry and raspberry slushie and soft serve vanilla ice cream. Totally refreshing on a hot patriotic day.
I feel like vanilla vodka would go really well in this.
I was just going to say, do you think they'd add a floater to this if you asked?
I think BYO floater. I don't know. I don't know.
Jen, you're not allowed to do that.
You're not allowed to do that.
Well, could you go over to the Regal Eagle Smokehouse bar there and ask just for a shot of vodka?
I don't think they do that. Because then people will just be going up yelling shots. And that's all you get going around Epcot. I don't
Well, then buy like a vodka tonic with the vodka separate.
You can just put that on the side. I'll have a vodka tonic with the vodka on the side, please. I'm sure they do that all the time.
Desperate measures.
There's also,
it does sound good, though.
It does. It sounds refreshing.
Yeah. No, we're not going to. There's ways to do it that we're not going to go into.
We'll let our listeners figure it out for themselves.
Yes. This is also something that would be really easy to make at home with your vodka as well.
And my slushy machine?
A blender. You don't make margaritas?
Girl,
like
do I make margaritas?
Oh,
I'm actually sad because we're moving back to the US next month and I'm trying to sell a bunch of stuff. And I brought my Vitamix. Of all the appliances to bring with me, I brought my Vitamix because margaritas. And it was American, so I had to buy like a power converter for it. And I just sold my power converter. So now I have to go like 4 weeks without my Vitamix. I know.
That was poor planning. That was poor planning.
It was.
You got to strike while the iron's hot sometimes.
I don't know. Priorities.
I know.
All right. How about the news?
All right. So the news. So aside from my moving home and selling my power converter, we skipped the news last week. It is big news.
It's big news.
This power converter or am I coming home?
Both.
So we skipped the news last week because we were just so excited about our special guest. I hope you all listened. And if you didn't, go back and listen because she's fabulous. But we need to take a minute to discuss some news this week, particularly around Disney's update of their mask and social distancing policies. So to somewhat mixed reviews among clients, Disney has relaxed their mask policy. So now they are only required indoors, in line queues, on rides, in restaurants if you're not eating. Am I missing anything? So basically you can...
Transportation.
Oh, and transportation. You can, and lines for transportation. You can walk around outside if you're spaced out. Again, the social distancing, if I didn't mention, has gone from 6 feet to 3 feet, I believe. Am I right? So you can walk around outside without your mask on. And of course, we Mouse Moms are super excited about this with various festivals and whatnot, because now you can eat and drink on the move in Disney, which makes Epcot even more fun.
Epcot, Disney Springs. So Disney Springs, if you didn't know before, even walking around Disney Springs, you had to have your mask on at all points in time, unless you were pulled over eating and drinking. So this was a huge one to just be able to walk around. And you're outside and spaced out. I know some people are kind of against it, but when you're getting near people, and you always have that right to put on your mask. Right. So just because they said you don't have to doesn't mean that you don't have to.
True. Whatever makes you comfortable. Yeah. Whatever makes you comfortable. Like we could go into science and all that, but this isn't the place for that. So that's the rule. Like it or lump it. That's the way it goes. Let's move into the daily roundup.
Oh my God. Big news also.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yes. So you might all hear a little bit of noise in the background. Jen is on hold with the Disney Wish, trying to get us on board that darn cruise. So what was it?
Priorities.
Last week, the inaugural sailing opened up for DVC members and Platinum or what have you. At the time of this recording, the other sailings are opening for special people. And then, and then on Thursday this week, we will open for the general public for all the other sailings this summer. So Jen is waiting very patiently on hold to get us on this ship. So please wish us luck.
I was going to say, if you've ever been on hold with Disney Cruise Line or Disney in general, you don't hang up. No. So we're gonna do this podcast with her on hold.
Yeah. So Jen's gonna mute herself, so you don't have to listen.
And every once in a while, I'll pop on to contribute, and you'll listen to beautiful Disney music in the background.
Right, which makes everyone happy.
Right.
All right. Now the daily roundup.
Now we can do the roundup. All right. So as Jen said, we are going to concentrate on everything America. So. We have listed a quote that Walt Disney first said in an interview, or not first said, but said about America and patriotism. So it was, "If you could see in my eyes, the American flag is waving in both of them, and my spine is growing this red, white, and blue stripe." So if you guys don't know, Walt Disney was huge into patriotism and America and everything else. And you can see that throughout all the different parks. Also, he was in World War II, correct? He had joined what did he join? The army. What did it say? He was too young to enlist, but that didn't stop him from serving in France with the Red Cross Ambulance Corps. He was very passionate about serving under his nation. And during World War II, he allowed many of his characters to be used by the military free of charge as mascots and decorations. So this is kind of brought through all the history of him, and he's kind of brought this into the parks. So I think we're going to go through and kind of dig in to see where we can see all this stuff about celebrating America in all the different parks. So I think the big one that I know about is the flag retreat in Magic Kingdom. I knew about this one before, but I have to say during COVID, they did one when the parks were closed. They had a super cute video of gathering putting as that one of the, I think it was security, was putting up the flag every single morning and then retreating the flag at night. Even though the park was closed, they were still doing this tradition every single time. So now that the parks are open, they aren't necessarily doing this ceremony. I think they're still doing it to an extent. They're just not doing the big ceremony due to COVID to not get the crowds and everything. But in normal times, you would gather in Town Square and watch the American flag retire for the night and be retreated down. And then the ceremony itself you would see that Disney security selects a guest, and it's usually a veteran or select military personnel. And they would participate in the ceremony. They would do the Pledge of Allegiance. They would, and they would pick that guest, and that guest would actually take part of the ceremony to retreat the flag, and they would fold it up, and then that person would kind of walk down with it. And I knew they were playing God Bless America at some point during the ceremony as well. So it was a really cool thing that they were doing. I think during COVID, they've kind of made it a little bit, not to gather the crowds, but I think that's a really, really cool tradition that they had going. So yeah, that's one at Magic Kingdom.
Really cool. Like you said, when the parks were closed, that they were doing this. I think a lot of diehard Disney fanatics are upset with the direction that Disney is moving in terms of the commercialization and making it a really expensive vacation. And I think this, for a lot of people, brought it back to the Disney roots because, like you said, Walt was so patriotic and it was so important to him to incorporate that stuff into the parks. And so that was really touching. And they are still doing it now, like you said, in terms of just they're raising the flag and lowering the flag. It's just not a ceremony because exactly what you said, which hopefully it'll come back soon. That one never drew an enormous crowd like the parades did. So I feel like that one is a good one to bring back.
I do wonder why. Like, was it people just didn't really know about it, or do people just, because like I feel like people just don't know about it because it is so, I mean, I'm not like a hugely patriotic person. Like obviously I love my country, but it
Touching.
it
It's
is so
emotional.
emotional and touching, and it just goosebumps all around every time.
And just
And it
seeing the person that they select to be like up front and center for the ceremony, it's usually like an older person or a uniformed person, which is equally as emotional.
Mhm.
It's a really nice one. I think it's also held at a time of day. It's 5 o'clock. So everybody's off to dinner or leaving the parks. I think that
yeah,
has a lot to do with it too. But hopefully now that you guys know about it, you'll go.
it's a mute yourself. It's a really touching and cool experience. So if you find yourself there at the time of the flag retreat, go ahead and get there, because it's just, it's special. It's always special.
I was going to say, and it
special.
probably didn't gather the crowds either, because most people are kind of designed in their head to walk down, and if they see character, it's ooh, character, and we walk this
Right.
way. So you got no characters involved here. You just have, you're retreating the flag and somebody's standing there, and I think it's a little different. And I don't think a lot of people know the traditions that go into it, that it is a daily tradition that has been going on even when the parks were shut down, to kind of stop and see this. They're just kind of like, oh, they're pulling the flag down.
Right.
So yes. So if you guys see this, definitely stop, take a look. Hopefully they bring back the tradition of bringing a veteran or somebody that's currently in the service to help out with that. It probably has to do with the flag. You're passing something off. You're getting close.
I
Hopefully
I
they
think
fix
they've gotten rid of all audience participation in all their
Yeah.
shows and parades and
Yeah.
everything. So that's probably another one.
Yeah. Hopefully this one comes back before. So the other big one in Magic Kingdom is obviously the Hall of Presidents. I'll be honest, I finally went. I have been to Disney since I was 5, almost every single year. I finally went to the Hall of Presidents. What was it, 2 years ago? It's first time.
It's cool.
It's
That's
really
'cause
cool.
you're
I'm kicking myself.
Canadian.
It is. By the way, the Canadians leading you all the way through this America stuff. Just putting that out there.
Like I said, immigrants get the job done, girl.
So yeah,
I think this is the one where my family, when I was growing up, this is where we used to go to take a nap in the air conditioning. It's definitely one though where you appreciate, especially the animatronics of the whole thing, because that was Walt's dream right there. That's where it was started. That's where he started.
Right.
With the animatronics.
Right.
Yeah.
So have they updated the animatronics, or is it still like the original, like?
No, they're more like, in Navi River where the...
I don't, Jen. I don't know about Navi River. Please tell me.
Well,
so can I explain to our
Navi...
listener? We've mentioned it before. Jen would not let me ride Navi River. She was calling me back to the pool with
it's a
Dole
waste
Whip
of
and rum.
time.
With rum. Let's just talk about that for a minute.
And I don't even like rum.
Right. So how hard did I have to try?
Not very.
But anyway, the shaman in this particular attraction, her moves are very fluid and elegant and graceful. And I definitely noticed that in the Hall of Presidents. They're much more, it's not like robotic anymore. Like it's creepy how realistic they are. It's currently closed.
Yes.
Because they are putting Biden.
They're putting
in
Biden
there.
in. So
yes.
For people that don't know, the Hall of Presidents is a animatronic show. So kind of think like Carousel. It's, I mean, for the most part, you're just not moving around.
Carousel
so you have animatronics.
of Progress, not
Yes.
Prince Charming's Regal Carousel.
Yeah, sorry, Carousel of Progress. Anyways, so it has all the presidents in here. It goes through the whole story of America. And for people that don't know, it also has every single president in there.
Including the impeached ones.
Yes, including the impeached ones. So currently it is closed. It does this every time there's a new president. It shuts down for a couple months because then it puts the new president in. So the reason I haven't been in after I've had kids, the one time I went 2 years ago was without kids. It is, I think, 22 minutes long. So if you don't hit it right, we waited in the, I guess you can call it waiting room, but it actually is really cool things in the waiting room. It has the only seal other than that's at the White House, right?
It's the only place outside of the White House itself where you can see the presidential seal displayed. Which is pretty freaking impressive, Walt.
Correct.
Like, nice work. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and it just makes you proud. There's something about it.
Being a non-American, it still was. My kids are American, so we were walking them through and seeing it. But I will say with little kids, we waited we missed a show. We waited over 20 minutes in that waiting room, and then my kids melted down and we're out. So it is super tough for those young kids. It is a 22-minute show. I think if I were to just have my 9 and 7-year-old, I'd totally make their butts sit through it and go to the show and actually learn some history. The 2-year-old was having nothing of it. But yeah, it's a great thing to go see. It has a lot of history in it. I think it's really cool. And then one of the fun facts we have is that when they originally did it, Walt Disney was so adamant of how they're supposed to look that he didn't like how it first looked. So he told the Imagineers to develop the first audio animatronic. I can't say that word.
We gotcha.
Okay. Animatronic figure. Thanks. In human form. So the result that they did, so you have the biggest one is President Lincoln. And President Lincoln, doing he does his speech, correct? Or part of the speech? Anyone?
I don't even remember.
She was napping.
I'm on hold.
She's on hold. What's your excuse?
I am very distracted by a Facebook post. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Wow, this is
Going
off
down.
the rails.
This episode is going down in history.
Off the rails.
All right. So, main point. Please go see the Hall of Presidents. And now Juliana is going to talk about the American Adventure in Epcot.
Am I?
You
so
are.
I feel like American Adventure in Epcot is totally often overlooked. I talk about Goosebumps. I love what are they called?
Like this one better than
I haven't
Hall of
seen this one.
Presidents.
I haven't seen this one.
So
The show, I mean.
Right, the show. What's it called? Help me.
Which show are you talking
the
about?
Singing.
The Voices of Liberty.
Voices of Liberty.
They're fantastic. But this show that's in this pavilion, I like it better than the Hall of Presidents. I think it's beautiful. It's really pretty. Very similar because it's audio animatronics and it tells a story and all that kind of stuff. So it's very similar, but I like it better. I just think it's cooler. They just move different. Like in the Hall of Presidents, everybody's either sitting down or standing up. There's a point where one of the presidents stands up to speak, but this one, like they're moving forward. It's creepy. It's really cool. I like it. But yes, Voices of Liberty is what you're talking about.
Yes, but the one that you're talking about, right? It takes you through time, right? Like from the Mayflower, the Boston Tea Party, Valley Forge, the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the Civil War, the Great Depression, just takes you through like all these seminal moments in American history. Again, goosebumps, chills, the good moments. It overlooks the not so positive moments, which we all know existed. It's really neat. And then, of course, there's Voices of Liberty, where there's actual live singers, and they sing all those patriotic songs that we all learned in school as kids and had to sing. And it just, I don't know, it takes you back.
I will say the American Pavilion itself in Epcot, in the past, I've always kind of skipped over it.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, we're in America. I want to go see the other countries. I don't want to go see America. But I've actually spent, I guess being there for 3 months will do that. But I've spent time in the American Pavilion. And it's really, there's a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of stuff that they've put in there that I think are just amazing to do with American history and everything else, that I think when you get lost in a theme park, it's, we've gone around before where I'm like, the kids could actually learn some history here. Like there's actual things to learn versus there's Mickey, there's Donald, blah, blah, blah. So I really like this pavilion. It's really cute. I've not seen that show there because of young kids. I waited outside for Jen's parents there. So they said it was awesome.
It is. It's very awesome. You should go see it. And the Voices of Liberty are fantastic. They are not currently, they usually sing underneath that big rotunda because of the acoustics. They are not currently there because of COVID, but they're still there. They sing out on the big main stage there in front of the American Pavilion. So you can still hear them. They're very cool.
I also love the American Adventure for the food. Like, I know it's crazy because you're in the World Showcase and you can sample all these cuisines from all over the place, but it's from sorry, I'll explain later. But I
was that her American accent?
No, it's all right. I'll explain now because we have time. So, have you all ever heard of Glove and Boots? It's a, I don't even know if they still exist. They're like these YouTube puppets. And there's one, Jen, you'll appreciate it as a New Yorker. There's one where he's like the Italian stallion and it's like this like froggy thing. And he's telling you how to get through New York City as a visitor. And, it's basically about like, get out of the way. Like, just move fast, get out of the way. All right, I digress. The food at American Adventure. The barbecue is excellent. The beers are so good. I think I have mentioned more than once on the podcast before. They serve my favorite beer there, Hazy Little Thing from Sierra Nevada. It's so good. I could hang out there for quite some time.
And also, notoriously, they have some of the best food booths at the festivals. Like they had amazing lobster roll last time. They had those seared scallops for Flower and Garden. They had it wasn't flour. I don't remember what it was, but the oysters. They had that funnel cake with the delicious. Yeah,
I think American cuisine gets a bad rap sometimes, but
I think it's more like what Lori said, that it's just, we can get that anywhere, and
you can get it anywhere.
I guess at the same point, are more wrapped up and trying
I'm from Midwest. Stuff. And I enjoy lobster roll and oysters and everything else because we don't typically get that here.
Right.
So, but the barbecue is just amazing.
Right. And I've lived in the Carolinas for 12 years now, minus the last 2. It's legit. It's really good. Of course, they serve barbecue chicken, which is out of this world. Their smoked chicken was so good. So did I ever tell you guys this story? So, I have a friend who's a faithful listener. Hi, Leslie. She moved to Raleigh from Florida. And she tells this story, and Leslie, correct me if I'm wrong, but she tells this story where she went to her first outdoor barbecue festival or whatever. And she went up to the booth and she asked for barbecue chicken. And they said, do you want barbecue or do you want chicken? And she was like, yeah, barbecue chicken. And they were like, are you asking for barbecue or are you asking for chicken? Because they'll smoke a chicken, but that's not barbecue. Barbecue in the Carolinas is pork and only pork. It's just really, it's just a little funny side story. God bless America.
Anywho,
it's a cute story.
It's a very cute story.
Has nothing to do with Disney.
I love their barbecue and even their barbecue chicken there.
Even their barbecue chicken.
And the portions are huge. And I'm a big fan of the polite pig, but it's kind of sometimes a pain to get to Disney Springs.
I will admit, I don't get to Disney Springs every trip. I get to Epcot every trip.
If you need barbecue, this is not shabby at all. It's really good. This is a hidden gem. I love this place.
And those pickles.
I will say the American Pavilion.
Those are so good.
Those pickles.
I like a pickle.
You guys did eat a lot of the pickles. It was a lot. And I will say the American Pavilion too. So it's halfway around the world when you're walking around Epcot. It seems to be a good stopping point. It doesn't seem to be as crowded. It's also a good stopping point to gauge how many drinks you've had to continue on your way around the world.
It's really big, isn't it?
It's huge.
It's really a big area.
It's a big area to space out.
After all.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, good God.
Oh.
I feel like in October during Food and Wine, America is where I was like, you guys, we need to go in here and sober up for 10 minutes because I'm.
See, I told you. It's
right.
It's the
Right.
point where you reevaluate what you've done halfway around and you're like,
And where you've
What
made
if-
mistakes,
what mistakes have I made?
right?
How do I
we-
continue
how
on?
do
You
we
mean like
bounce back from
canon?
this? Yeah. Yeah.
There's also a very nice fountain you can sit by. It's a nice area. I enjoy
with
the American Pavilion.
And with the theater right across from there, what is it called? It's where they have the Garden Rocks concert series and all the other stuff. I might be the American Adventure Theater. I don't even know. I can't remember what it's called, but there's like a little amphitheater right there along the water. And so like you can just hang out there, and if they're doing serial shows, you're going to catch one.
Yeah.
And they're cute. I told
They're
you guys
cute.
I saw the gin blossoms there.
Well
Hey,
done.
jealousy.
Why is this going downhill so fast?
Like I said, America is where you evaluate your mistakes. You see how you can recover. You make a plan of action, and you move on.
Are you
So
saying the
moving
gin
on.
blossoms are a mistake?
No,
No.
I'm saying I
No.
missed my early 20s. Oh my God.
I was in my 40s when I saw the gin blossoms at American.
Yes, but you were in your 20s when they were impactful in your life.
And I didn't realize how many Gin Blossom songs I actually knew.
There are quite a bit. I know quite a bit.
See that? All right, moving on. Oh, also at American Adventure so I don't know if y'all have seen the movie Soul, like jazz, the true American art form, right? Like that is an American music. Like we can claim that as Americans. That is our genre of music. And I really do love the movie Soul. Like it's not your typical Pixar movie, but I loved it. Anyway, I guess now there is a temporary exhibit called The Soul of Jazz at an American Adventure that takes you on a musical tour of America and the colorful history of jazz music. And it features Joe Gardner from Pixar's Soul. Fun fact, did you all know? So Jen taught me this, that through her son, Jack, who's an animator in training or a budding animator, that hands are incredibly hard to animate. Did you know that John Baptiste from the Stephen Colbert band Stay Human was the model for those hands? So not only did he write the music with Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, or who is Nine Inch Nails, he was the model for the pianist. Huh. Isn't that really cool?
That's amazing.
I don't know, yeah, and if you
That's
guys
really
don't,
cool.
Yeah, if you don't know who John Baptiste is, he is smooth. Like he is really cool, really smooth, really funny, and a really talented musician.
And a fabulous hand model.
And a fabulous.
It reminds me of Joey from Friends.
Right? And he's looking for his hand model twin.
Yes. Oh, this podcast episode is going down somewhere. Going down in history.
American history.
American history, yes. I have a feeling it's a best of 2021. Or worst. I don't know, kids.
How we compare the American Pavilion to where you stop and figure out if you made bad choices.
What could be more American than that?
Right?
Oh my God, you guys.
Actually, what's most American then is continuing on along the same negative path that you've taken before. Stop, evaluate, realize, don't change.
It's going downhill. We're just going to make it go down further. Let's do it.
It's all good. It's all good. We're charming. Charming Americans +1.
Ooh.
Anyway, also, Lori, what else happens at Epcot?
All right. So also, which I think is really cool, I've never seen this. I have seen videos of this. Is that the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds military planes have been known to fly over Epcot and Magic Kingdom around Memorial Day, Veterans Day. I have seen the videos of this. I think it would be really cool to see. I've seen actually a video. Somebody got it while they were crossing right by Cinderella's castle and the planes were just going over. Beautiful.
I would love to see that.
Right?
I would love it. I've seen them fly over Charlotte, like during football games or whatever, but I've never seen them over the castle. Like that would
be really cool. And for people that don't know, one of the busiest days at the Magic Kingdom is 4th of July. So it is, which you people are crazy. It is hot.
Yeah.
There is a lot of people that you're crazy. I love my Disney World, but God.
So my husband grew up in Florida, not far from Disney, about an hour and a half away. And again, in the 80s, when we were kids, you could just show up for the day, no park reservations, obviously. And no fast passes or anything like that. So you just showed up. You just went, you showed up for the day, and that was that. And most days it was fine. But on the 4th of July, man, whew. So he tells this story where he's like, I couldn't have been more than 7. It was like right after the fireworks, and hordes and masses of people are like walking toward the exit, and he got separated from his parents and his siblings. And like, it was just, yeah. And he was apparently like completely oblivious, and his mom was freaking out because she couldn't find him. Like, it is that crowded. It is just a sea of people. If you are not moving, you will get trampled. Like, it is intense, insane on the 4th of July, but it's so cool.
I was going to say, the reason it's so cool is because they did a special fireworks show that night.
And
so
the
they
Blue
would
Angels, right?
And Blue Angels, you would see 4th of July fireworks that night. So for people that don't know, before COVID, this is one of the days that would sell out. It would sell out and be at capacity by 10 or 11 o'clock. If you weren't in there by 10 or 11, you ain't getting in for the rest of the day. And if you're in there, you can't leave or you won't be able to get back in. So now with park reservations, it's going to be a little bit different. We'll see if they do the fireworks. I'm going to guess on no, this year, but, it is one of the busiest days because, people, I guess you look at this as like an American tradition of going to Disney World. So I think, this entire, Disney World vacation thing has turned into like an American, tradition. So that's how people look at it. So, and one of the last things over at Magic Kingdom, which is my favorite, are the Muppets. The Muppets used to do a great Moments in American History. That was by far my favorite. They popped up at some point.
Right after the parks opened.
Yeah.
They came back for a little bit, but they're not there anymore.
They're gone again.
Which is so sad because that was my most favorite thing ever. I mean, love the Muppets, love the story, totally conducive to that kind of show because it's right in Liberty Square.
Yeah.
It's Sam Eagle.
We didn't really talk about Liberty Square as
no, we should talk about Liberty Square.
There's all of Liberty Square is just a tribute to Americana. It's wonderful. It's actually my favorite. It's the smallest, but my favorite land in all of Magic Kingdom. I just love it. You guys have heard me talk about how much I love Columbia Harbor House.
Yeah, I miss that.
I love everything about Liberty Square. It's Ye Old Christmas Shop is there. Like, I just love it. There's also the Liberty Square Riverboat, which is, like an homage to the New Orleans riverboats. And that's, a good place to cool off and chill out. You take a little river tour. It's like I
There's
said,
also a lot of fun hidden secrets and gems there that you can look around. That
like the Brown River.
The Brown Duty River. There's also those.
I'm sorry, what?
You don't know this?
I'm sorry. This was in our
Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Right. Let's explain again. So you know how like all of the lands have different sidewalks, right? Or different paths. They all have a different color. And this is by design. They want you to feel, even if you're looking down, that you are in a whole new place. So I don't remember what's what. However, go ahead. Take it away, Lori.
So they have, Jen knows the facts more. Can you go off hold? Can you go off? There you go.
Not going off hold, but I will take me off.
We'll just listen to Belle in the background.
Yeah.
So when you're in Liberty Square, you'll notice that there is a brown stripe, like it looks like a river running through a brown river. And that's because it is supposed to symbolize that time period that we're in Liberty Square, where they used to empty the bedpans into the street. And so that fact is such a popular fact for like the tween boy.
I would say even 8-year-old boys. My boys love it.
But besides that disgusting fact, there are a lot of really cool Americana facts there. Like if you look at the huge, beautiful tree that's in Liberty Square, that's like the center, the root, if you will, of that area, you'll notice that there are 13 lanterns hanging there to represent the colonies. You'll notice that in one of the windows, there are 2 lanterns, and
Paul Revere's lanterns.
one if by land, 2 if by sea. So just really cool.
And I was gonna
Again,
say, the Brown River too. The reason they have that, so then they have no bathrooms. If you notice, there are no bathrooms in Liberty Square. The bathroom is underneath the bridge on your way to Adventureland, and it's technically in Adventureland.
I did not know that.
With the exception, obviously, of the restaurants. So
so you have Liberty Square, not Liberty Square,
Liberty Tree Tavern.
Liberty Tree Tavern that has the bathroom.
Also, is a great American institution. There's your Thanksgiving dinner every day.
And they have a great salad for people that don't feel like having, I don't know if they still do it, but they had an amazing salad that was there as well. But yeah, they have a lot of cool facts in there. But yeah, the bathroom went through me for a loop. As someone said that to me, I'm like laying out all of Liberty Square. I'm like, oh my God, there's none.
Right. I'm going through it in my head and I'm like, is there? No, there's not one there. No, there's not one there. There could be one there. Nope, that there isn't.
No indoor plumbing during this time period.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Gross.
All right.
But wait. Back to the Muppets though.
Yes.
Did you guys know, so with the 50th anniversary of Magic Kingdom coming up soon, did you know that there is a Muppets Magic 50th anniversary magic band available? It's not one of the ones that you can get as part of your package as an extra for your package, but it is or was, it might be sold out, available on the Disney Store online. A friend of mine and client just sent me the link. I need this now.
I think also we need to take this opportunity because we know that the Bobs listen. So we know that they're our fan. And so Bobs, I just need to ask you, where are Muppets?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Why would they be phasing out the Muppets and then bringing them in for the 50th anniversary commemorative magic band? Something's not adding up here, Bobs.
No.
I am angry.
No, the Muppets need to come back. People like seeing it. It's not going to draw the crowds. So you're bringing characters back out for things. Just let it happen. The Muppets need to come back. People love the Muppets. And now Muppet Babies are on Disney Junior. The younger kids are loving the Muppets.
Forget about the kids. We're the ones paying for these trips. It's our generation that loves the Muppets.
Absolutely.
And is footing the bill for this. We're the ones that matter
here.
A
letter.
By the way, that clip for the best of 2021, that clip right there, forget about the kids.
I mean, who said Disney's for kids? Kids.
Oh man. All right. I think we've dug this podcast as far deep as we can with this episode.
Oh, this is my favorite episode ever. So all right, Mouse Gets Tip.
Yeah.
Mouse Gets Tip, friends. So we talked about July 4th being a really, really busy day at Magic Kingdom. One of the busiest of the year, next to maybe Christmas Day or New Year's Day, would you say? Yeah. I actually don't know which of the three are busiest.
I was going to say it's usually 4th of July and then New Year's that sell out.
I think 4th of July historically is the busiest day at Magic Kingdom. With good reason. It's great. It's just a great place to be, regardless of how crowded it is. So, nowadays, if you are thinking about going on the 4th of July, you need to make your park reservations as soon as possible. In fact, are there any available anymore?
For this year?
I don't think there are this year. But park reservations are here through, we think, July of 2022 at least, right? Yeah. Aren't we there yet already? Yeah. So they're showing. So this is also a piece of news that came out. Bob Chapek recently mentioned in a talk at, where was it, Jen?
It was some sort of shareholders meeting.
Yeah.
That park pass reservations were going to be around for the foreseeable future, long after the pandemic. And we as agents are seeing park pass reservations as a requirement for bookings. We can book through
early October
of 2022. And they are still requiring park reservations as of now for those dates. So if you want to go 4th of July next year, get on it, make your park pass reservations, because this is the day that's going to sell out quick.
Yes.
If park pass reservations ever go away, like Lori said earlier, during non-COVID times, we always recommend a midday break if you have littles, if you want to get away.
Except
you may
that day.
not take a midday break from Magic Kingdom on the 4th of July. Maybe with park pass reservations, that won't be an issue, because if you have the reservation, you have the reservation and you can show up when you want, because they're controlling capacity. I don't know. We're not 100% on that, but we believe that's the case. Don't know what park hopping will look like on the 4th of July, but during normal times, just you can't leave. If you leave, you're not getting back in, because this is a day when they will shut down admissions to the park. It does get that busy. So get there early, pack your patience, pack your deodorant, and God bless America.
All right. Thanks for spending another episode with us, dear God. Hope you have celebrated. How have you celebrated your patriotism in the parks? We'd love to hear. Share below or on our Facebook page. For the latest news out of Disney's, don't forget to visit our blog at mousecammoms.blog.com and join our Facebook page, Disney Planning and Chat by Mousecammoms. Thanks for listening. Please listen to the next one.